It is one of the most famous poems ever written.
In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row.
I saw the poppies growing in this graveyard that was sort of expanding every day with the deaths from this battle, and the poem just sort of took hold in his mind, and in a lull in the battle, he wrote it, started writing it.
Composed during brutal battle in the trenches, World War I Canadian soldier John McCrae wrote from the heart about loss.
It was the death of a friend in the middle of a really horrendous battle called the Second Battle of Ypres. And his friend, Alexis Helmer, was a young lieutenant in his artillery brigade who was hit by a shell along with another guy who died later. But it was the death of Helmer that McCrae had known for quite a few years.
It has taken 7 years for author Susan Raby-Dunne to complete her book, Bonfire, the Chestnut Gentleman, a story about McCrae and his fond relationship with his warhorse, Bonfire.
And he loved the horse. The horse was a character. He was a very intelligent, affectionate, kind of a quirky character that did all these endearing things. And well, horses were really important to the soldiers in World War I anyway, but McCrae really loved this horse and wrote about him just about every day in his diaries and journals and letters.
Bonfire stayed by his master's side in battle right up to McCrae's death. Raby-Dunne was so fascinated by the loyalty and love between the horse and the soldier that she chose to write the book from Bonfire's point of view.
I just started writing in the voice of the horse about 4 or 5 years ago, and it just seemed to flow, and I thought it was a very simple, accessible way into the story behind the poem for all Canadians, from children right to seniors, and it has been.
And in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below.
I want this book on every shelf in every home in Canada because it tells the essence of the story behind In Flanders Fields. Not only what the poem means, but the context in which it was written. John McCrae was in the middle of a battle. He wasn't sitting in an armchair somewhere. And the poem really speaks to veterans because veterans, especially combat veterans, know that he gets it, that he's been there.
Raby-Dunne believes McCrae suffered from post-trauma stress disorder, the silent killer of today's soldiers and war veterans.
He had a friend, a medical colleague at the time, who said he's badly shell-shocked, and he aged about 20 years in 2.5 years. And that was a large part of his demise, was just combat trauma after the 2 terrible battles he was in. So I want people to understand that invisible wound. You know, you may not have a gunshot wound or anything like that, but you're just as badly wounded as somebody who is.
Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields.
For Go Winnipeg, I'm Tracy Koga.